everyone. This is Grace Walker, and tonight I have the delight to be speaking with our newest recording artist.
Hello, everyone. My name is Azulajé, and I am the writer of SunDayze.
And my name is Luna Rose. I'm the featuring artist on the track.
Azulajé. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful name. Could you tell me a little bit about the naming itself?
Yeah, so this is my artist name. Azul is blue in Spanish, and Ajé is the spirit of wealth in Yoruba. And I kind of put those two things together. Azula is also from the anime Avatar: The Last Airbender, and she is a lightning bender. And I really like the concept of, I think it was Uncle Iroh who said that her lightning bending, the only way that you can bend lightning is through being completely silent and calm within yourself. It's not aggression, it's not an outburst of emotion, but it's a peaceful state that allows you to have that lightning travel through your body and to be able to bend it. So that is one of the reasons I chose that name for myself. I think it speaks to who I am. Blue was my favorite color as a child. And then, wealth. Let's just bring the wealth in. That's the goal.
I'm so glad that I asked it because it takes on a full persona now. It's not just Azulajé. It's Azulajé with a very encompassing meaning. So to you both, Luna Rose and to Azulajé, welcome. Welcome to the talk. Talk to us about what SunDayze is.
So SunDayze is a love letter that I wrote to the ancestors. It was actually the second song that I've ever written. I wrote it on February 14th, 2019. And this is when I first kind of started writing music. It kind of came out of nowhere, but I know that it came from the ancestors speaking through me, flowing through me. It came through as a melody at first, the way that I write music and the way that music comes to me. A melody kind of comes into my head, and then I play with it. I play with the melody. It's usually the chorus bit, that little section. And I play with that. I kind of riff around it. And then eventually I have maybe 3 minutes of improv of musical just melody. And then slowly lyrics will start to come. And I rearrange some of the melody, and that's kind of how it's formed. But yeah, it's a love letter to the ancestors. It's a thank you to the ability to kind of have time, have a space to come back to myself, to come back to the song within me, and just sun in general is something that makes me feel loved and comforted and warm and at peace with myself. That is the concept.
So when I first heard it on the recent launch, it presents a very inviting as well as very telling musical exchange. And so, Luna, how did you become involved in this process?
We've kind of in the past, we've talked about potentially making music together. I've been away at school for the past 5 years and finally have just come home, and we're now living together again. Mm-hmm. So it was like a really smooth kind of jump into starting to work together. We're living together, and it's like we both are involved in music and making music now. So it kind of made sense, but Jan invited me. When did you invite me onto it?
Oh, that's a really good question.
I don't even remember, yeah.
Probably maybe 2-3 months before we recorded.
Yeah, I think basically when I got home. Yeah. When I got home from school, she mentioned having me potentially feature on it. So then we started picking rehearsal days. Actually, I remember the first time that we rehearsed it together. I feel like both of us were feeling kind of like lethargic. It was gray, the sky was gray, and she played it for the first time. And I don't know if that was the first time if you played it or the first time we actually sang it together. Yeah. The sun immediately came out, and we both were just like kind of tearing up and like laughing in the moment. It was like one of those moments where you're like, yeah, this is meant to happen. Yeah. This is on purpose.
And it kind of has been happening every time, not every time, but a lot of the times when we're either rehearsing or when the day that the song launched as well, it was kind of gray and cloudy in the sky, and at launch time, 8:08 a.m., the sun came shining through our window.
It's so right.
So yeah, it's been just, again, nuggets and miracle love from the ancestors, just being like, this is in alignment.
Yeah. It was meant to be that we were sisters doing it together.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go. I was just about to draw that out. So you both have been singing and in performance as siblings, your sisters. Tell us about that kind of history and how you've both come to well, it is ancestral to some extent, the singing and the performing and the lineage of art and music. Want to share a little bit about that?
So I guess I'll start with the first ancestor that kind of came to me was my great grandmother Carmen, who has a beautiful voice. So I heard, I don't think I ever met her, but my mom tells me that her voice kind of comes through me. So there's that part of it. And then my grandmother was also a singer in her church and in her community. So our family is just, and our mother is a singer as well. So our family is just filled with singers all over this side of the world, but in Canada and in Trinidad. So yeah, we've been singing since as long as we can remember. There's always been music in our house.
It's been a long history of the music performance, not only music, arts, theater, dance. And that goes back to all of the histories that come from generations and on both sides of the generations. There's such a wealth.
Grandpa Andre, he is also a singer, and so it's from both sides.
Yeah, both sides are just very much in the arts, very much in performing, singing, acting, all of it. So we're definitely very blessed and very fortunate to be born into such an artistic family. My father as well and his family are also singer, dancer, lineage.
Exceptional. Tell me a little bit about lyrics. Walk me through the lyrics as it occurs. We'd like the audience to want to hear it. So tell us about the lyrics of this song.
So I wrote this song. So I wrote it in February. So it was winter.
Yes.
And it was a time where I was home a lot, kind of during the morning time. So yeah, kind of morning time is when I wrote it. And when this song kind of came to me, I would wake up, do a little yoga, and then a melody would kind of just come to my head, as I talked about. And they kind of just reflect those moments, especially being the first song, or the second song, but the first set of songs that I had ever written, ever. It was, yeah, it's a reflection of that time for me, but again, more so the sacred space that I was able to create for myself. I do deal with seasonal depression, so especially in the middle of winter, it's cold, it's usually dark and dreary, cloudy, and so whenever there was any sunshine, it just helped me feel better. It helped with my mental health, my emotional health, and again, just encouraging me to create spaces for myself to take time to reconnect with my ancestors, reconnect with myself, with what I love, which is singing, acting, dancing, performing. So that is kind of the main theme throughout the song. I am someone who has dealt with anxiety and depression, so my ancestors and music and sunshine have all been things that help me in those spaces as well, in those times of my life, to get through them, to move through them, and kind of, find my way back to myself, back to my core, back to my roots.
Yeah. So as this is your first collaboration, how do you perceive yourselves going forward into the future?
This song, SunDayze, is actually part of an EP that I'm working on, hoping to release late 2022, so next year, called Ujjayi, which is a Sanskrit word which means victorious one or victorious breath, often known as ocean's breath. Again, this writing music and just this expression of myself came from my sacred moments, my sacred time, my time on my mat, and just taking time for myself to tend to self-love and self-care, coming back to my breath and back to my voice. So that is the kind of concept for the EP. So SunDayze is the fourth song. It's number 4 on the track. I have 2 spoken words that I'm also featuring on the EP. And the whole EP, the next song that we're actually going to be releasing early next year in March, I'm going to be singing with my mom. So I'm excited about that. It's a full family affair. Okay. One of the spoken words is going to be with my sister, Natasha. And in the future I'm thinking of also doing an album, and I also want to feature my nephew, who's an incredible wordsmith. So yeah, just it's a huge family affair with this music.
How do you see this progressing, and probably not only just progressing, how do you see this going out to audiences in what you want them to receive?
That's a good question. I guess my biggest goal is to inspire people to exactly what this song kind of represents for me is take time and take space to kind of get out of the hustle bustle of the world and anything that causes people stress, especially during this time where everyone is kind of locked up in their homes, to take more time to tend to self-love and self-care, take more time to connect to your ancestors, take more time to enjoy sunshine, and just create sacred spaces for yourself again, so you can come back to yourself, come back to your light, find your purpose, and ultimately make this world a better place is kind of my goal. So that's what I hope that the audience will take away from this song, but also just my music in general and this EP that I'm doing. How do I want to share it with the world? Actually right now we're working on a music video that is also gonna go with this, that is for SunDayze, that will be featuring both of us as well as our sister, one of our other sisters, Arisha, and the Heavenly Crop, which is a wellness site. She has incredible wellness products that are creations for the highest good, organic products like shea butters, black soap, teas, sea moss, many different things. So we're very much encouraging self-love and self-care just in all of our artistic doings.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, and to those of us who don't actually have a formal knowledge of the depth and width and breadth of musical genres, what would you describe this and your future music to encompass?
This track is a little bit more, I guess, R&B, maybe even neo soul type of a vibe, but I don't really have like a specific genre for myself. I kind of go all over the place. I've been influenced by many different genres of music throughout my life, coming from the Caribbean, but also family coming from the Caribbean, but being brought up in Canada in such a diverse environment. I've been influenced by hip hop, R&B, rap, even a little bit of rock and roll, Cuban music, soca, everything. So my music is very much an amalgamation of everything that I've been exposed to, and it just comes out in different melodies that come through me, and then the lyrics kind of come through that, as well as different artists that I've been inspired by. Beyonce is one of the top. Since I was a child, I've just always loved her music, and she is also someone who has a wide range of musical genres. But Beyonce, but also Nina Simone, Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, Chronix, many different people that inspire my music. So yeah, I don't really have a specific genre that I would put myself into a box.
Luna, what would you be looking at continuing to do as you move forward?
It's funny, I have never written before the past maybe 2 months. I've never really written music. But recently, coming home and working with my sister, I wrote it down. I was like, my goal right now is write a song. And I think a week after I wrote that down, I can't even explain what happened, but I had a friend who sent me a bit of music that he produced, and immediately words started coming out. And like, I wrote and I finished one song, and I'm now working on another one. And I think the genre that I'm kind of leaning towards, I would say, is, like neo soul is one that I think I would identify with, and then also R&B sort of. But yeah, I also don't really know. I know there's definitely a name for the genre probably, but I'm not quite sure what it is.
It might be a new sound.
Yeah, it might be a new sound.
Yes. As I was listening to it, I think the words that you're saying, the neo soul, was what was coming to mind, because I was trying to fit it into a box, and I was thinking, it's not that one. It's not that one. It really is. It's a marrying, actually, of, could be the multiplicity, the diversity, the encompassing of music itself. So I think if we were to box it and define it as primarily one or the other, we might be doing it a little bit of disservice, but it should, in fact, I'm absolutely looking forward to what's going to come next. So I'm so glad that you guys took this opportunity to your statement, an invitation. I think the SunDayze would be, come hear some more. So again, when would the official EP be launched?
I'm looking at around October of 2022. I'm still kind of we're working on some of the production. Also, I didn't mention, but my partner is actually the producer for SunDayze and all of the music on the EP, Nimone Music, who is also an incredible musician. And that is also part of why I think this sound is kind of original in a sense. It's a marriage of many different music, is because he's been influenced by a lot of music throughout his life as well. Yeah, we're looking at October of 2022 for the EP.
And so this first drop, would this be available for purchase, or how can a person listen to it?
Yeah, so it's actually on all streaming platforms. You can find it under SunDayze or Azulajé. You can find it on Instagram, Snapchat, and then Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, iTunes, iHeartRadio, I think, also has it. It's just kind of a bunch, everything, all of the streaming platforms.
So to you both, thank you again. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for taking the time. Thank you again, Azulajé and Luna Rose. My great nieces, thank you so much for taking the time. Looking forward to all the special blessings that are going to come forth from this. I'm really excited about having the opportunity to launch this first talk with you, and I'm sure there are going to be so many more that you're going to be doing. Thank you both. Congratulations. Keep the blessings flowing. Thanks again.